a German soldier's recollections of the Battle of Monte Cassino. We stood then on the Gustav line, stone, proud, unbreakable. It felt eternal, carved into the very mountains of Italy, guarding the road to Rome. We thought we had seen war in every shape, on the Eastern Front, in Africa, in France. But what descended upon us at Monte Cassino was unlike anything before. The Americans did not fight like men. They moved like a machine, organized, thinking, unstoppable. From dawn, the sky trembled. The sound of engines filled the air. Bombers circled above us like steel birds, patient and precise. Every minute, shells tore the ground apart, turning hills into fire. We had faced the fury of the Red Army before, waves of men running into death. But this was different. The Americans didn't rely on madness. They relied on logic, step by step, shot by shot, perfectly measured destruction. My adjutant said quietly, "They are not like the Russians. These ones are cunning. They think." I laughed then. I did not laugh long. They did not rush. They encircled. They cut our supplies, isolated our strong points, learned our habits. Their power was not in numbers. It was in understanding. Every move they made had purpose. At the base of the mountain stood the ancient monastery, a fortress of faith and stone. We believed its walls would protect us. They had survived centuries, but war respects nothing sacred. When the bombing began, the earth itself screamed. Columns fell, the monastery crumbled, dust covered the valley like fog. We watched the ruins burn, and with them the illusion of German invincibility. Even stone could not stand against the precision of modern warfare. They attacked in rhythm, artillery, smoke, then airstrikes. It was like watching an orchestra of destruction. We fired back, but their coordination was flawless. Their artillery never missed twice. Their scouts saw everything. Our reports came too late. Theirs arrived before the battle even began. They were faster, colder, sharper. Their soldiers advanced slowly, but never stopped. Even under fire they kept formation, young, calm faces, determined, focused. I had seen bravery before, but never like this. Bravery without chaos, courage without rage. They climbed through flames and dust, as if death itself could not touch them. We thought we had mastered discipline, but here discipline had evolved. This was not blind obedience. This was unity of purpose. At night I heard their engineers digging, their officers whispering commands, their guns preparing. They never rested. For them, war was not emotion, it was craft. Every wire laid, every bridge built, every bullet counted. I realized then, if Germany had fought with such precision, perhaps history would have been different. But we were already relics. Their coordination was terrifying in its calm. Radio networks linked every platoon. While our messages crawled through broken cables, theirs flew instantly. They moved like one body, and we were the pieces being cut apart. I saw our lines collapse, not from fear, but from exhaustion. We fought shadows that always knew our next step. They learned from every clash. Each time we tried a counterattack, they adapted. They studied us as scientists study disease. We repeated old patterns, bound by pride and habit. They created new ones. We were soldiers of tradition, they were soldiers of evolution. And evolution always wins. When our defenses finally broke, the valley fell silent. Smoke rose above the ruins, and for the first time, I felt the weight of inevitability. The Gustav line no longer existed. Yet the Americans did not rush to destroy what remained. They advanced methodically, without anger, without cruelty, as surgeons removing a wound from the earth. And in that precision, there was something more frightening than hatred. It was certainty. The British, the Poles, the French, all fought beside them like parts of one organism. Each unit had a role, each role fit perfectly. No shouting, no chaos, no vanity, only efficiency. Our own armies fought among themselves, the Wehrmacht, the SS, the politics. But among the Allies, order reigned. Their commanders didn't chase glory, they chased results. When I first saw their tanks advancing through the smoke, I understood how far technology had carried them. Engines roared, armor glistened with dust and fire. The machines moved as if alive, coordinated with infantry and artillery in perfect harmony. It was not a battle anymore, it was a demonstration. Every movement calculated, every target predetermined. War, for them, had become science. We Germans had long believed ourselves the masters of engineering. Under Monte Cassino, that illusion shattered. The Americans had built an army of the future. Their logistics never failed, their radios never fell silent, their medics worked with terrifying precision. Every soldier knew his place and believed in it. They didn't need fanaticism, they had purpose. The night we were ordered to withdraw, the mountain was silent except for the wind moving through the ruins. The monastery was gone, the symbols of eternity turned to ash. We knew the fight was over, yet none of us felt shame, only respect. The enemy we had faced was not cruel, not reckless. They were professionals. They had proven that intelligence can be deadlier than fury. Later in captivity, I heard other officers admit what few dared say aloud. We had underestimated the West. We thought them soft, spoiled by comfort, poisoned by democracy. But under Monte Cassino, we met a new kind of soldier, disciplined, educated, relentless. They fought without hatred, without shouting, without fanaticism. They fought to finish the task, and they did. I believe that mountain marked the end of the old world. We had treated war as an art. They turned it into science, and science always defeats art. We defended the past. They built the future. Those who build will always overcome those who merely hold. Years later, I can still see their faces, young, weary, yet calm. There was no cruelty in their eyes, only endurance. We spoke of them with a strange admiration we could not suppress. They earned the respect of their enemies, and that is rare in any war. Monte Cassino was not just a battle, it was a revelation, the moment when warfare changed forever. No longer a contest of passion and numbers, but of coordination, intelligence, and will. And that new world rose over our defeat. Many have asked me if we could have held the line. I don't think so. We were fighting not just an army, but time itself. Their weapons were modern, but their greatest weapon was organization. They fought as if guided by one mind, a civilization learning how to master destruction with precision. We could not match that. I do not feel bitterness now. War is not always won by strength. Sometimes it is won by comprehension. We understood the past, they understood the future, and that made all the difference. If someone asked me today who was the most formidable enemy of the war, I would not hesitate. Not the Russians, not the British, the Americans. Because they fought with intellect, not impulse. They used reason as a weapon. And in that reason lay their power. Monte Cassino was their examination, and they passed it brilliantly. We thought we would be their wall. Instead, we became their stepping stone. And when their flag rose over the ruins of the monastery, I understood that the war was not ending. It was transforming. The age of old empires had ended. The age of reason had begun. That moment, the flag, the silence, the broken stones, was not just our defeat. It was the dawn of a new kind of power, where intelligence commands steel and discipline replaces chaos. Perhaps humanity took its first true step out of darkness that day.